Hello, welcome to another video. So today it is the 12th of November and the Goodreads Choice Awards long list has come out. So we're going to do my reaction to the Choice Awards. I have not looked at it yet. Now I haven't actually done any predictions for this year, so I'm going to do a very quick, we're going to go through most of the list and I'm going to give a very quick kind of overview of what I think we're going to see. I will also say I have completely stopped using Goodreads. I've migrated 100% over to Storygraph. So I did that in about, I think, February this year. So the vast majority of the books that will come up on the screen in a minute when it says Goodreads, they'll be saying that I haven't read. I might have, but I just haven't tracked them on Goodreads because I don't use Goodreads anymore. Anyway, so books that I think we're going to see. So we're definitely going to see House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. I'm guessing that's going to be under romantasy. I think there's going to be quite a lot of romantasy that I'll have read. I think A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen will be on there. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else. Let me look on. My fairy leaf shells aren't helping. For fantasy, I think we're going to see Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. Maybe Feybound by Sarah Ella Reefy. We might see the Jassad Air. Maybe, I can't remember if that's this year or last year. Maybe Voyage of the Damned. Potentially the Molly X Chang book, whose name I've forgotten. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. Romance, another category that I like. We'll obviously have Funny Story by Emily Henry. I think Ali Hazelwood had Not in Love out this year. We'll see that. I think Daydream will be on there by Hannah Grace. There'll be a Tessa Bailey. What's a new one this year? The Au Pair Affair. I haven't read it yet. I don't know how well received that one is, I'll be honest. I think we might see a BK Borison. I think their latest was Business Casual. I think we'll see an Elsie Silver. I think it's was it Wild Eyes? That's the most recent. Maybe Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. And I think then I'm just going to give a couple thoughts on mystery thriller, which is the other category that I like. I'm going to go through multiple other categories. I think there's going to be a few Frida McFaddens. I think she's had 3 out this year, but I think hopefully we'll only see 2 Frida McFaddens on the list. I hope there's just not too many. I'm hoping we're going to see Richard Osman on the list for mystery thriller. Potentially Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty. Let's just get into it. Okay, so I have on my laptop down here, screen recording. So we will see what we get. Let's move the screen around. We're going to be voting here as well together. So where do we start? Oh, they brought back Young Adult. Excellent. Haven't brought back middle grade. Not excellent. Right, let's start. I'm just going to start at the top. We're going to start with fiction. Right, All Fours by Miranda July. I've not heard of that. Margot's Got Money Trouble. I've not heard of that. The Wedding, Marta. I have heard of Welcome to the High-End Dong Bookshop. Not read it though. I've heard of Intermezzo. I've not read it. I've heard of Blue Sisters. Wow, I have read 0 of the books on this list. What is this? Fiction. That's a good start, isn't it? I don't know what I'm going to vote for here because I've not read any of them. I'm probably going to end up voting for Here One Moment because of the books on that list. It's the one that intrigues me the most. But yeah, I've not actually read any of them. Historical. By Any Other Name, I have literally just finished reading that book yesterday. I have heard of James by Percival Everett. Again, do I even read? I've read Shelterwood by Lisa Wingate. I actually quite enjoyed Shelterwood. I worked on it earlier this year. Kristen Hanna, The Women. I think Kristen Hanna's The Women is going to probably win this one, but I'm going to vote for Shelterwood because I actually quite enjoyed it. Next category, where are we now? Mystery and thriller. Okay. The Boyfriend, Frida #1. Midnight Feast. Again, I haven't actually read it, but it is on my... it's not on my shelves yet, but I want to read Midnight Feast. I think I've got an arc of it. Middle of the Night, I'm excited by. Yes, there's We Solve Murders. Excellent. Listen for the Lie. There's a second Frida. So I have read on this list The Mystery Guest and We Solve Murders, and that is it. Okay, I'm happy there's only 2 Frida McFaddens. I want to read The Midnight Feast. I want to read Middle of the Night. What I said, I'd read We Solve Murders and The Mystery Guest. I'm going to vote for We Solve Murders because it's more was better than The Mystery Guest. The Mystery Guest was fine, but I prefer We Solve Murders. Okay, romance. We're getting into the good ones now. A Song for Ricky Wilde. Okay, not read that. Play Along. I've not read that. Lies and Weddings. No. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I own it. I have not read it. I read the first one. Swift and Saddles. I've not read. Oh dear, we're not doing well here, are we? This Summer Will Be Different. I haven't read. Just for the Summer. I own. Haven't read. Wild Love. I did kind of predict those 2. Daydream, Funny Story. King of Sloth, Not in Love. Okay, I've read Daydream, Funny Story, and Funny Story. I've not read Leather and Lark. I've not heard of The Love of My Afterlife. I've not read The Pairing. I have read Bride. Oh, Ali's got 2 books on here. This Could Be Us. I have not read. The Rom-Com Is. I have not read. How to End a Love Story. I have not heard of. The Paradise Problem. I have not read. Okay, so of the ones I've read, we've got Daydream, Funny Story, and Bride. I think that's it. Yeah. I'm going to vote for Daydream because I think Funny Story, of those 3, I think Funny Story is probably the one that I enjoyed the most, but Funny Story is going to win this round. Emily Henry always wins, so I'm going to vote for the underdog and vote for Daydream. Romantasy. Okay, let's see what we've got. The Spell Shop. I think I own it now, but I haven't read it. Games God Play. Haven't read. Fate Inked in Blood. Read. Didn't enjoy. Blood of Hercules. I have not heard of. JLA. Not read. Born of Blood and Ash. That's a very difficult... I don't like that cover. That font's very hard to read on that cover. Veiled Kingdom. I own but haven't read. Honey Witch. I own but haven't read. Apprentice to the Villain. I thought was actually quite an old book. Dark and Drowning Tide. I own but haven't read. Promise of Peridot. I haven't read. Quicksilver I own. Phantasma I have read. Zodiac Academy. Feybound Gold. Touch of Chaos. When the Moon Hatched. House of Flame and Shadow. Fate of the Sun King. A Crown That's Cold and Heavy. Okay, so I have read House of Flame and Shadow. I've read When the Moon Hatched. I've read Feybound. I've read Phantasma. And I've read A Fate Inked in Blood. I did not enjoy A Fate Inked in Blood, so that one is out. Phantasma I liked. Feybound I really liked. When the Moon Hatched, again I enjoyed, but I didn't love it. House of Flame. Okay, so Sarah J Maas is going to win this category. I'm going to do just like I did for romance. I'm going to vote for Feybound because I think actually Feybound I probably did enjoy. None of these books that I've read on this list were 5 stars for me. Let's be totally honest. House of Flame and Shadow is going to win, but it was not a great book. It was a kind of mediocre 3-star book. I think I gave When the Moon Hatched and Phantasma, I think I probably gave them both 4 stars. I think Feybound possibly was like 4.5. But I am going to vote for Feybound because, again, let's support the underdog. At least in, the opening round. Okay, fantasy. Let's see what we're gonna get. So yeah, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, I have not read, I own it. The Night Ends with Fire, nope. An Academy for Liars, I haven't heard of The Foxwife. I haven't heard of The Lost Story. I haven't read The Warm Hands of Ghosts. I haven't read When Among Crows. Is that a novella? I think I've heard of Five Broken Blades. A Sweet Sting of Salt, I've not heard of that. The Bright Sword, nope. The Tainted Cup, nope. Okay, haven't read Voyage of the Damned. I don't know if I've heard of The Book of Doors. I have read The Familiar. I should have read Empire of the Damned, but I haven't. Don't think I've heard of A Song to Drown. Wow, this is a really awful selection. I'm sorry, but what even is this? So of everything on this list, the only one I've read is The Familiar. I don't think I want to vote for The Familiar because it was fine, but it was just fine. I didn't love it. I kind of want to vote for Empire of the Damned, but I haven't read it. Or Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which again, I also haven't read. I don't know. I'm going to vote for The Familiar because I do feel like it's cheating if I vote for something that I haven't read over something that I have read. But I hope that something else wins. I don't think it will. I think The Familiar will win. Right, next category I believe is sci-fi. Yeah, so apparently I don't read. Oh, I've heard of The Other Valley, although weirdly I've only heard of The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard because my friend worked on it at Tandem in Italy. So I've heard of it as an Italian book. It sounds good though. I've heard of The Ministry of Time. Oh, The Family Experiment. Again, not read it. Wow, I have not really read anything, have I? I think I'm going to go with The Family Experiment because I read The Marriage Act, which is kind of in this same series, and I enjoyed that. That's not how this works, but that's how I'm doing it. Horror. The Bog Wife, that sounds awful. Sorry. This Cursed House I own, but I haven't read. I've heard really good things about We Used to Live Here. I've heard not so good things about Murder Road. I've heard good things about The Eyes Are the Best Part. How is it that the most books that I recognise are on horror? I want to read I'm a Teenage Slasher. Oh, I thought that maybe, what's the book called? The horror one that I read. Can't remember. Heads Will Roll. I thought that might be on here. Okay, so I'm going to vote for This Cursed House. I haven't read anything on this list, but I'm going to vote for This Cursed House because I own it and it intrigues me, and it's one of the very few books on this list that's by a black author, so we're voting for This Cursed House. Debut. Okay, Voyage of the Damned. I haven't read it, but I own it. The Eyes Are the Best Part. Ministry of Time. The Eyes Are the Best Part and Voyage of the Damned are the only two that I kind of have more than just heard of in passing. I've done like a first chapter challenge on Voyage of the Damned. It is a book that I own. And I don't know if it's one that intrigues me. The Eyes Are the Best Part sounds really creepy and gross, but I am vaguely interested in it. I'm going to vote for The Eyes Are the Best Part. Done. Audiobook. Okay. Right. Have I listened to any of these? No, I have not. Oh, this is really tricky because, like, how do you vote for an audiobook if you've not listened to it? Did I listen to part of We Solve Murders? I'm going to ignore We Solve Murders because I've already voted for that one. Actually, I might just skip this category because I haven't listened to any of these. And I feel like if you're voting on audiobooks, it's got to be an audiobook that you've listened to because you're judging it on the quality of the audiobook, in my mind, rather than the quality of the text. Yeah, I'm going to skip on to young adult fantasy. I don't read a huge amount of young adult anymore, so... Oh, Brandon Sanderson Defiant. Well, that's a sci-fi. Heartless Hunter. I haven't read it. Oh, Ruthless Vows and Reckless. Okay. I've read Ruthless Vows, Reckless and Defiant. I'm going to vote for Reckless because I enjoyed it most out of those 3 books that I've read. Young adult general fiction. Okay, I've read Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I've read The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I own Betting on You. I think Heartstopper is going to win. I've only read these 2, so I'm going to vote for The Reappearance of Rachel Price because I think it was the one that I enjoyed most out of those 2. All right, next category. I think we're getting into the non-fiction ones. Yeah, I don't read a lot of non-fiction, so I'm going to, if I've read anything in here or if I've heard of anything. Oh, Want. Okay, well, I'm going to vote for Want because I own it. Memoir. Not read any of these. Let me go through again. Chelsea Devance. I shouldn't be telling you this. I've not heard of her. Knife by Salman Rushdie. I'm not particularly interested. Grief is for People by Sloane Crossley. I've not heard of her. Liz Cheney, Oath and Honour. I have not heard of her. She sounds like she's an American. Friday Afternoon Club by Griffin Dunn. Not heard of her. From Here to the Great Unknown by Lisa Marie Presley. I think that's Elvis's daughter. Not really interested in that. Whoopi Goldberg, Bits and Pieces. I have heard of Whoopi Goldberg. An Unfinished Love Story by Doris Kearns Goodwin. I've not heard of her. Ina Garten, Be Ready When the Luck Happens. I have heard of her. Sociopath. I have heard of that book, and that book sounds really good. Kelly Bishop, the Third Gilmore Girl. That's probably going to get my vote. Amy Lynn, Hereafter. Nope. A Well-Trained Wife by Tia Levings. Not heard of you. Loud by Drew Afulo. Not heard of you. RuPaul. Not really interested in RuPaul. My Side of the River by Elizabeth Someone. I've not heard of you. Wanted, Toddler's Personal Assistant by Stephanie Kaiser. I've not heard of you. Susan Liu. I've not heard of you. Can't even see who that one's by. There's Always This Year on Basketball and Ascension by Hanif. I can't read who that's by, but I've not heard of them. And The Wives by Simone Garando. Okay, no, not heard of you either. So of the memoirs, I have heard of 4 people out of 20. I'm going to vote for The Third Gilmore Girl. Oh, do I vote for Sociopath? I'm voting for Kelly Bishop because of them, it's the one that I would probably be most interested in reading. History and biography, again, this is parts that I'm not interested in. I have not heard of and have no interest in really any of these books. Let's have a look. Nexus, Information Networks from Stone Age to AI, not interested. True Story of Sex, Murder and Utopia at the Dawn of World War II, could be interesting. Race and Insanity, could be interesting. Imperial Ambition, nah. Kennedy's, nope. Heroism and Disaster on the Edge of Space, nah. United States and the Making, nope. How the Glow of Radium Lit a Path for Women in Science, ugh. Glamour and Power, The Dawn of American Fashion, nope. This is why I don't like Goodreads, okay? Like, I know it's owned by Amazon, I know it's an American company, but there are countries outside of America. Like, why is history so US centric? Generations long fight for justice on native land, nope. Wild and Shimmering, Life of Animate, no. The Lost Tomb, I can't read what it says there, but again, doesn't really sound interesting. It's another American one. Inside Story of Presidents in Crisis. How many American ones have we got so far? I don't know what a Jim Crow asylum is. So Kennedy's Challenger. Everyone is Here is Gone. When Women Run Fifth Avenue. Fire We Carry. Small and Mighty, The Situation Room. We're up to 7 out of American ones so far. A Saga of Hubris, Heartbreak and Something at the Dawn of the Civil War. Again, I'm guessing that's America. 8. Bookshop, A History of the American Bookstore. American Scary. Women in the Valley of the Kings. So half of the historical books are about America. I'm sorry, but that's just not good, is it? Like, ugh, it's... I'm not even going to vote on that. There's nothing in there that really interests me. The Wide Sea, Final Voyage of Captain James Cook could be interesting, but the fact it says Imperialist Ambition first makes it seem not so interesting. The Bookshop was the one that immediately intrigued me, but then A History of the American Bookstore, you've now made it not interesting. American Scary, I'm going to go with American Scary. I think the only one now that I haven't voted on, yeah, is fiction. So let's go back to fiction and pick one from there to vote on. So we've got Welcome to the Humangnangdong Bookshop, which I can't pronounce. Heard of that, haven't read it. Well, we already know I've not read any of these. Blue Sisters does not interest me. I've heard of it, it doesn't interest me. I've heard of Elizabeth Strout, but I haven't read that book. Sally Rooney does not interest me. Dolly Alderton, I own Ghosts by her, but I haven't actually heard of that one. Leanne Moriarty, here one moment. Do you know what? Actually, the Leanne Moriarty is the one that intrigues me the most. That's the one's going to get my vote. Okay, so that was my initial reactions and votes on the Goodreads Choice Awards 2024. Let's be totally honest here. A, I apparently haven't read anything all year. And B, I feel like those lists were all fairly shit. Like, I know I didn't do any kind of predictions, but the predictions that I've seen other people do, I think a lot of them will have got quite a lot wrong. As usual, let's be totally honest, I have enjoyed voting in the Goodreads Choice Awards, but Goodreads has again encouraged me to renew my stance on why Storygraph is the better review platform. If Storygraph would do like Storygraph Choice Awards, I think they would actually have a really good diverse list of books and authors, and I think that in fact it would be much fairer than just like random books that nobody knows how Goodreads choose them. Anyway, ranting over. That is my impressions. I know that a lot of people have made this exact same video, and I know that a lot of these came out yesterday, but I filmed this yesterday. Speaking as if I'm in the future now, it is still November the 12th. I filmed this today on the 12th, but I am posting it on the 13th because I am. Mainly because I don't want to edit and post tonight because I'm quite lazy, you know. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe down below. Let me know which of the titles in the Choice Awards you would vote for. Do you agree with my votes? Am I missing anything? Is there anything that I need to actually add to my TBR to read? If you just want to leave me an emoji to let me know you're here, leave me the little like cup celebration emoji, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.